And we're live.
Woo!
We are
Hey.
live. Hey, welcome to this special, I don't know what we should call it, a special crossover episode, multiversal event of all podcasts. This is where Heartbreak feels good, a dazzling podcast about stories that may or may not feel perfect and powerful. I'm your host for tonight, Edgar Ortega, and joining me today is my co-host, Josh.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about this masterpiece of a movie.
That masterpiece being Father's 2, obviously. Um, and joining us from another galaxy, another universe, maybe, I don't know, is Harris from My Cup of Tea and Hyperspace Hype.
Yeah, and you can say we're from another teacup. I think that would be really
Another
cool.
teacup.
Yeah, my name's Evan. I've been like in the last two episodes, I think, of
You've been a constant guest, yeah.
constant
Yeah.
guest. I
The
should have a
guest of
better
honor.
status than.
Nathan's name.
He's cheating. He's cheating on our pod.
Sorry.
Nathan, you better change that name.
Josh and Edgar like pay me money to come on here. No, but I'm
You
excited
wish.
to be on here. Yeah, this is a fun little crossover episode for My Cup of Tea, Hyperspace Hype. Happy to be here with you guys. Yeah, talking about the best movie of all time, according to Josh. No,
It's one of them. We'll get to it.
It's a great movie. I've only seen it once, but I'm excited to dive into it with these guys. I don't know how long we're gonna get. Probably 4 hours, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
And joining us as well is the mastermind behind podcast, behind My Cup of Tea and Hyperspace Hype, is Nathan Rojas.
Haha, Dr. Michael Morbius at your service. Sorry. No, hi.
Muting you
Yeah.
at this moment.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna change it. But yeah, it's me. Hello, I am the founder of both those podcasts.
The
for better or
blueprint.
worse. The blueprint, if you
Big
will.
blueprint.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
The Sam
If you
Raimi of
will.
podcast.
Oh my god, the honor.
The Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we're here to talk about a little movie that has been, for I don't know, I lack of a better term, been stealing a lot of people's hearts and attention for the past couple of weeks. This little movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once by A24 and directed by the Daniels, who previously was their last movie.
Their last movie
blanking on-
together was Swiss Army Man.
Yeah,
But I
there
think
you
one
go.
of them directed The Death of Didlon, also at A24. Just by
Oh.
himself.
They did
Never
Swiss
heard
Army
of it.
Man.
They did Swiss Army Man, yeah.
Wow, that movie! I never saw that movie because I just didn't look that appealing to me. But now I might watch it after.
It's very good, and it like
Isn't it the farting movie though?
yeah, but
Yeah.
it goes way deeper than that.
Okay.
How many farts?
Yeah, I know. Like I kept out
lot.
at 5. Okay.
There's a
Oh,
lot of
no.
farts.
Oh no, it's my
I don't know.
It's like the adult version of the fart jokes in animated kids movies.
okay, because that's my Achilles heel in kids movies. Is
It really
But
is.
they
I'm just
really
like, oh no, I'm out.
they do something good with it though.
They go to
Definitely
the
recommend it.
farting multiverse.
Yeah. But yeah, what weird and different and creative and imaginative little movie that we have here. Josh and I had a very interesting experience watching that movie because we had
We
a very
did.
long day doing a lot of shit, going from going broke in a music store to to going to the Oscars after the infamous slap. But yeah, like, man, I don't think I've had this much fun in a movie theater. Uh, and it's a very different vibe from a Marvel movie and like movies like that.
Mhm.
But like, the audience for both times that I've seen this movie has been just so electric and it's so energetic. Everybody's just so into the movie that it helps you even more to like hook you. Um, but yeah, like, even though Josh fucking likes to give me shit for giving the movie what's equivalent to a 9 out of 10 on my first viewing.
You came around though on the second view.
I
Came around. Oh my god.
He's been saved. Happy Easter.
4.5.
4.5.
He has risen.
He has
Recent,
risen the rating.
yeah, just the rating. Still at number 2 on my list for the year. But
Is number one still
um,
Batman?
yeah, I'm gonna watch it again
Ow!
by the way tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Josh is like the ultimate crusader of this movie, killing everybody who gets in his way.
Me and
We
Josh
haven't
don't
even
agree on
discussed.
much, but I think that we do.
Yeah, we do.
We haven't even
Nathan.
discussed a fucking thing about this movie, not really, and we've already fighting over it.
Are we
But well,
going to each
since
other's throats over half a
since
star?
Josh is the everything everywhere aficionado, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the movie is about?
Yeah. So we follow the protagonist of this film is Michelle Yeoh. Her character's name is Evelyn. We follow her and her family. The film starts at her family's laundromat. Then I don't want to spoil much or go into detail much right now, at least synopsis wise.
Yeah, I must say,
We'll
we're going to
spoil
that
stuff
stuff.
later, but
It's
yeah,
not our bag. We
basically
spoil all the
something
time.
happens where uh, her husband's body is taken over by a different mind that we learned is from a different version of him from a different universe, and then the movie just spirals and spirals out, and is one of the most insane creative rides I've been on in a cinema.
Mhm.
Evan, what experience did you have with the movie? Because I don't know, I might be wrong, but I might be like remembering this wrong. But weren't you like a little bit like late to the party, at least within our group?
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't see movies as soon as they drop.
I mean, we did see it 2 weeks earlier.
Right?
Yeah.
I felt like I was so behind, and then it got expanded. Then I finally saw like a fucking normal person. No, excuse me. I don't live in LA, fuckers. But this was great. I mean, for me, I don't think I told anybody this, but I go to a local Cinemark theater for most of my movies. So I went to go see it at Cinemark. I was running like
Wait! You're betraying our queen, Nicole Kidman, by not going to
all the
AMC?
time, all the time.
All the
How
time.
dare you?
I
all
only
the
go see
time.
AMC
How
if it's
dare
like
you.
if it's IMAX. Then I
Dune.
go see like a Marvel movie or a Dune, something like that. Then I was like, okay, Cinemark doesn't have IMAX, then I'll probably go see it at AMC. Otherwise, fuck it. But I went to Cinemark and the theater was filled. I couldn't get in because the theater was filled. I was like, oh shit, looks like I have to go to AMC. So I ended up going to AMC, Josh. I hope you're happy.
Plot
What a
twist.
roller coaster!
And there was
plot
plenty of
twist.
seating. There's plenty of seating available. I don't get my seats ahead of time because I'm a normal person again.
What? That's not an abnormal thing to do.
Since the select seating integration of 2016,
Oh my gosh.
I remember it well.
But regardless, I finally made it in, and I had a great time. Like my brother and I, we really love these kind of sci-fi, crazy, weird kind of projects and movies. That's kind of the things we love, minus like farting movies. But we kind of like love sci-fi, weird
You
stuff.
gotta give it a chance.
No, I'm good. So
It's so good though.
yeah, I'm good.
Daniel Radcliffe was snubbed. I'm just to say that.
It sure he was.
Is he alive? Hold on.
What? No, he was great. Am I the only one who's seen that movie? Out of
Yeah,
the four?
probably.
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it, but I don't remember much from it.
I need
Good
Trey
job.
in here.
Anyways, I saw the movie. I really liked it. It was a great time. And similar to Edgar, like my theater was really invested in it, which is kind of weird for an indie-ish movie like this one. Especially just absorbing this movie, the first couple of minutes, it's fast. It's more fast-paced than you would think early on, and you're trying to absorb everything that's going on. But you're laughing, you're getting very emotional. It's very heartwarming. It has it all. Like I left the theater saying, this movie kind of has it all the reasons why I love movies in one movie. And there's some great action in here as well, and mystery. So it's very cool. Yeah, in general, I had a blast watching it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Perfect
Which
score.
means I
Respect.
hated
Change
it.
that.
Kind of.
You need to change that.
It's ridiculous. I think I don't know where I have it in my ranking. I think right behind Ambulance. I think for me,
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh my god!
Everyone, bring open your letterbox right
You're
now.
about to do me a heart attack. Jesus.
Hey, ambulance is a.
Granted,
it's a-
I saw Ambulance and
it's a
it's
masterpiece.
fantastic.
It
I need
is.
to watch it. I need to
Fantastic.
watch it.
I would say the F word. It's fantastic.
Oh,
F word.
whoa!
I know we're not an ambulance podcast right now, but if you haven't seen Ambulance, go see it. It's really, really great. It's like top
It'll give you a
that
headache,
good?
This
but
is
it's
why I
really
couldn't finish
good.
my screening. I had to leave. I didn't want to.
I don't love like pure action movies. Or a
Well, you'll
day.
love this one.
yeah.
Is it really like? Do I need to see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's like
I
I
it's
haven't
want
like
to
seen
see
it, but you
Jake
did.
Gyllenhaal go nuts.
you think
I
Gyllenhaal is the
mean,
best. here.
that is the thing that's only like gets me intrigued. But
Yeah.
Anyway, back to everything. Over
Anyways, yeah. Overall, I had a great time. I'm done. That was good.
All right. Nathan, cinema did cry or what?
Yeah, it's slightly above Secrets of Dumbledore for me.
oh my god.
Only because I've seen nothing this year. I've seen 7 films. No, but it is my number 1 movie of the year. Cool.
Great job.
No,
No cheers or applause, but yeah, okay.
right. But no, I went to go see this. I had what else was I watching that day? I ended up double featuring. I think did I finish Morbius? I went to go see
Oh
that.
my
Oh
god.
god.
Was it Morbius Day? Morbius sweep? I think so. But yeah, I was just hanging around and I was like, okay, cool. I have a daylist reservation left that reset. Let's go. I went to go sit down and watch it, and there was a couple that sat behind me, and the dude says to her girlfriend, all right, this is a movie we gotta pay attention to. I was like, okay. All right. I don't know how I ended up moving to a city that is like at least 1 film bro per audience I'm in, but this is funny. But yeah, man, I ended up it started, I was watching, and dude, I was in awe of it just unraveling the way it did. It really is just it's like a heightened level of cinema. It's so different than like what we're usually going to see.
Honestly, yeah, like it's I don't mean to sound snobby or shit or pretentious, but it really is like
But-
on another level for me. It is like I don't usually say this about many other movies, but like this movie just blew me away, and
Yeah,
like Nathan said, just left me in awe of how like original and creative and like bold it is, and how
Yeah.
ambitious it is despite being a $25 million budget, which is like fucking insane. That is insanity right there.
incredibly ambitious. And just talking about the hype before seeing the movie, Josh was tweeting all these hyperboles like best movie of all time.
I
Best
believe it
multiverse
though. Like I
thing.
truly believe
And I'm
it.
like, for me, I'm like multiverse. I'm like Spider-Verse. You know, like Spider-Verse is like for me one of my favorite films of all
It's-
time. I love Spider-Verse.
It is,
And I'm
better.
like, I don't know if I can say that yet, but it's really astonishing, like how much you were right, Josh. Like it's so unique and ambitious. That's like the main word you take away after leaving this movie. It's really ambitious because it might seem simple, like in terms of the commercials, but oh, it's multiverse. We've seen multiverse movies before, but especially in this era. But this one goes above and beyond. Like the character work here, is really what makes it special. That's what I really loved about the movie. The relationship between the family and between everybody involved. Really cool.
Especially between Evelyn and Waymond, her husband.
Yes.
Like thinking about his scenes and his climax towards the film just makes me like tear up just every time.
There's one scene that really stuck with me. Like probably could be one of my favorite scenes of the year between those two. We'll talk about it later on. But yeah, and her and her daughter, Stephanie. How do you say her last name? Is it Hizu?
Stephanie Shu, I think. Yeah.
Shu.
Which is she was also great in Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, okay.
She's in season 3 and 4. Fantastic in that.
You always talk about that show too. Maybe I should actually listen to some.
You need to watch it, Evan. It's great. You would love it. I really think you would.
Yeah, I need to get on it for sure. But yeah. Oh, Angie.
Narrator, he will not.
hey. This summer when I'm
Big Brother.
I'm gonna get on it.
She's being Ryan Johnson's new show too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. She's working with Ryan, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's always very good. But yeah, the cast here is great. Across the board, great cast. Like, I can see this movie going the distance in terms of like fan hype and hopefully Oscar hype.
Hopefully awards. Like I
yeah.
think it will. I've been starting to
You
believe.
think
more
so?
and more.
I've been
think
starting to
so.
believe more and more as well.
Because
More...
it has everything. It has critic, like beloved by critics, beloved by fans. Like it has a really great fan rating on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. And
yeah,
it's doing
audience
good like
score...
within the box office too. So I think it could go all the way.
Yeah, I think it's like about to reach its budget. About to
Yeah, I could see it being like this year's Get Out, where like it starts really, it's genre as fuck, and it starts in like early spring, but just goes all the way, and like it's a ton of nominations.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to compare it to Get Out because like you have something like last year's like The Green Knight, which totally forgotten about by
Goose Day,
Academy
which
voters.
is travesty.
Yeah, but
nobody saw
this
it. Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
it
but like
twice.
yeah,
Second
me
time
too.
with Trey.
I saw it, yeah, twice. It was great.
Yeah, horrible first experience with that movie, but that's not the point.
Oh, hello. Save that for later.
Save that for later. No,
Podcast
but yeah, like,
idea: our best and worst experiences watching the movie.
oh, that'd be fun.
ooh,
Note that down.
Oh,
Let's
this
go.
is so fun. I have
I
7.
completely forgot what I was gonna say about. But anyway,
I
back
think we can
to
get into spoilers now, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
let's just dive right in.
Yeah. Do you guys have a spoiler
So-
warning like we do? No, I'm kidding.
No.
The
No,
Rock
but I'm gonna do
dies.
I'm gonna do
Yeah,
the spoiler
it
warning.
doesn't
Get the
matter.
fuck out. Get the fuck out if you haven't seen the movie.
EU,
Oh.
EU.
I would tell for Batman, we
Wee-woo.
like didn't even give a shit about spoilers. We just talked right into it. But this
Yeah.
movie, like, you really shouldn't be spoiled on,
Not at
because
all.
like this Joan is, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, and haven't seen the movie, this Joe try and know as little as possible because it's rewarding. It's
You know,
really
what's the
rewarding
crazy thing
experience.
about this movie is that I remember like seeing odd trailer in the movies, but I have no idea what's in the trailer. Like once
Really?
I sat down, yeah, I sat down when I started to watch the movie for the first time, completely forgotten
The
like
testament
what
to how good this movie is that I saw the trailer like multiple times in front of other movies, and like I was thinking like, there's no way it can be this ambitious. But the fact that it was even more ambitious and like good than the trailer let on was just insane.
Yeah, for me, I think I only saw like 2 trailers or so, but the most like I've seen from the movie was like tweets about it, or like, you know, when you're scrolling through Twitter, you see like a little 20-second clip
All
of
the
it.
hype and stuff.
Starring Michelle
Yeah.
Yeoh and Michelle Yeoh, featuring Michelle Yeoh and introducing Michelle.
It's like the series of unfortunate events to Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see much of it going in. My brother was just like, okay, sounds cool. That's usually what I do with Jalen. Just pull him in to see a movie. He's like, okay, fuck it, I'll go see it. But yeah, this one I kind of didn't see much about it. I didn't even know Jamie Lee Curtis was in this movie. Oh, that's
Really?
Jamie Lee Curtis? Okay, cool. Yeah.
There's a few like cool little cameos that I had no idea. Like Jenny Slate, that was really cool, and she
Yeah.
was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
That's fun.
Mhm.
Venom star Jenny Slate.
I forgot she was in that. Jesus.
Yeah.
Symbiotes.
Marshall, the Shell of the Shoes
no.
on, coming out later this year by Age.
Carson put me on that,
Very
and I'm
excited.
so hyped.
Have you watched the shorts?
Short, no.
There's
shorts?
like 4 shorts out like from like years ago, and they're incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
spin-off.
Nice.
That's exciting. Well, you know, a big thing I think I commended this film. Not to dive into my "is cinema did cry" notion, but like I really commend that. Like it's not only like, you know, getting you so emotionally connected to this these characters, but like relations with the multiverse character versions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They each become like their own characters. Because I was just thinking, because we get introduced to the concept of the Alphaverse and everything like that, like they can go in between universes. But I was thinking, like, okay, she'd use one of her powers from this other universe, and then she'll move on once they become like useful. But you actually stick with these other versions of herself, and they get little mini character arcs of their own.
Whenever
Yeah.
they
Really
cut
cool.
to the Wantar Y like version of the universe, where like when she's an actress,
Yeah,
fucking incredible, like
Cinema,
amazing.
right?
the alley,
That
the alleyway.
the alleyway.
This is how I fight. fucking
Thing that made
tears,
me
man.
cry on my second viewing, like towards the end of
It's
their
so
conversation
good.
of like, even if in another life I would have been totally okay with just doing
Yo,
laundry
yo,
with you.
That
and
line is so good.
that was my scene. That was my scene that I was going to talk about. I mentioned earlier. I was like,
His
that was the
Oscar
scene.
scene.
Probably, it's his Oscar scene. Is probably the best scene in the
I
movie
hope
for me.
so.
For me, at least,
Yep.
because it kind of exemplifies the movie in a nutshell. Where it's
Yeah.
like she was so excited. Going back to the beginning of the movie, she was so excited to talk to her husband about what she just experienced with the multiverse, and she was like, "I just saw this crazy multiverse that's better than what I'm living with you," which is kind of rude as
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh.
But then this scene where he was just like, he's kind of like the guy that got away kind of a character, but then he just said like, in another universe, I would have been fine just simply like filing taxes with you or something.
Oh.
And I was just
And
like,
the way that
oh,
this film is like so ambitious with its like multiverse, and we see like literally hundreds of multiverses at one point. The way it just like ties back in and focuses on the two, like their relationship, the family's dynamic and relationship at the end with like the HUD is
yeah.
just like
I
amazing.
I really want to rewatch that scene like on Blu-ray or whatever whenever I get it, because I think that scene's just magic, and especially the
Yeah.
way they film the background. Like it reminds me of a lot of like Asian cinema where like they speed up the background, but they keep the characters like.
I actually saw
silent.
interview with the Daniels on that. They like
Okay.
took they recorded video just of like random like streetways and like just random environments like and with like a handheld camera and like speeded it up and put
Okay.
use like LED panels on the side of Michelle Yeoh and
Hmm.
a green screen and just like recorded her in slow-mo to like do a weird like effect with it. It was really cool.
Wow. I mean, that's believable because I'm watching that. I'm like elbowing Jalen. I'm like, look at the background. Like, it just
Yeah.
such a well established shot. That was like a mouth wide open. And then when he says a line and he turns away,
And
I'm like, oh, god
and
damn.
like that
Cinema.
scene of like them clipping through the multiverses, like and like that, like you know that scene I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
The
of
fact
course.
it's
Yeah.
followed right by a scene like several minutes of the silence with the rock scene. Is this like
Huh.
the editing in this movie is unfucking real. It is like some of the best I've ever seen.
Perfect
Yeah.
editing. And yeah, you can go ahead, Edgar.
Oh no, I was just gonna mention something like kind of relating to like every single like version of in the multiverse of every single character that I noticed on my second viewing, because like one of the issues that I had with the movie, one of the few that were course corrected on my second viewing,
Peer
um,
pressure.
peer pressure, was like the total like shift in like pacing between part one and part two, because part one is very fast paced and it
I
took a
definitely get
lot of
like you'd have a problem with that because it's very overwhelming. But like once
yeah
you
it
watch
is
it a second time, you can really
yeah
see like how well it's done.
Yeah, I
yeah
need to do
it
that.
is very like fast paced, and it throws you like literally everything that it can at you, and it's very overwhelming. And then you switch to part two and it's very slow and it's very like even more character driven, I guess. That's the wording that I'm trying to take. But like watching the movie for the second time, and even in just the first like scene when they enter the Texas building or the IRS, I don't know what it was.
IRS,
When
yeah.
when they start talking about like the stuff that they spend money on in the past year, and how Michelle Yeoh's characters spend money like on a karaoke machine or something, and she's like, and they start talking about, oh yeah, this because she's a singer or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
then after you watch it a second time,
It's
you
really cool foreshadowing. Yeah.
yeah you realize like, oh shit, this is like a reference of something that's gonna come back later on, and you kind of forget it in the first viewing, because
Yeah.
again, a lot of information is thrown at you. So on the second
This
viewing, it's
film does that a lot. Like
yeah, and
the
it's
blood trophy, we see it like in the first scene in
yeah
the taxes, and you never expect it to come back in that way.
Yeah, especially in
Or like
that
Jenny
way.
Slade's
Yeah.
dog, or
Oof.
the doodly eyes, which is like fucking like I love how that comes around. Because initially when I was like watching the movie for the first time, I thought like, is this a hint towards like the multiversal being or like something to play into that like
Me too.
Alphaverse? But no, it's just TH1 being a fucking adorable dad, and like, it makes me fucking cry when that fucking resolution comes.
yeah.
It's so good.
But yeah, like I don't know, like even like again, on my first viewing, I think I like the first part of the movie kind of resonated with me the most. And I think on the second viewing, the second part resonated even more because again, it's like the film kind of like presses the brakes for a bit, and it focuses much more on character. And once you have everything that you know before, like that you took away from the first viewing, and everything that you're learning in the second viewing, it makes for those character arcs in the second part even more rewarding for me. And
Definitely.
especially like when she's like going out in the laundromat during the New Year's party, and everything is just so well done.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, there was a couple moments in part two that kind of paused the movie for me, which is why I had that like that 0.5. Like like that scene where they're in the office. The whole family's in the office. Starts taping her up, and then some other stuff happens, but kind of like takes a little bit of a slower pace there. And then towards the end, where it seems like all hope is lost. That kind of moment.
You mean the
but-
scene where we get Raccoonatui or whatever?
is that what?
That's
that
where
what
they
happens?
first like introduced it. Then again, you never expected it to come back in the way it does. It's incredible.
I thought that was like a joke or whatever, but then it comes back. I mean, there's an actual raccoon in the guy's head, which is pretty disgusting and weird, but I'll go with it.
It's like Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the one
Amazing.
Pixar movie that I don't love as much as other people.
What?
Not
Not again. Evan.
Nani?
in my top 10 Pixar movies. Not at all.
Amazing.
Wall-E is better than Ratatouille.
I mean, I agree, but
Ratatouille is okay. It's okay. It's good.
Is Up better than Ratatouille?
yes.
Not at all.
No.
Not even close. Up is
It
next to Bugs Life.
Top 10 Pixar movies coming soon.
To a theater near you. But
Coming soon to theater.
But I just
Heartbreak feels good. Theater episode.
I just felt like it slowed down a little bit, but maybe Edgar's right because the first act is so overwhelming and exhausting, and then if you take a break, then you're like kind of like trying to in your brain take it all in and make sense of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's going on. They try to introduce you to Jobu Tobaki, and I'm like, how do you even say that name? What's going on here? Who is it?
Joju Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Amazing.
Better Star Wars reference than Fast and the Furious 9.
God, we just rewatched that.
But
That
then
joke
you're like, okay,
still slaps.
Wasn't that
It
like
does.
a 3-minute scene?
it was.
At least
Carson,
like 2
About
minutes.
Star Wars.
Carson didn't think it was as long as me and Nathan were like, it's long. We told you. It keeps on going. But yeah, you figure out like, okay, Jobu Tobaki is the daughter, Joy, which makes a lot of sense. Already you're kind of diving into that. And then introduced to all these multiverse things. But then when a movie pauses a little bit in the phase in part two, whatever it was, I'm trying to like think of what's going on, what's going to happen next. But either way, I can't wait to watch it again to kind of like now that I've absorbed everything, I want to kind of see how it all connects even better the second time. I don't know if I'll have time, but I really want to see it again. But yeah, those moments like we were talking about earlier, I can't get over the scene with the actress and that whole multiverse, because that's like probably my favorite multiverse version of the movie. Because there's a lot of good, great character stuff. I think through that we learn about her past, like what really happened to her and her aspirations, like when she was leaving her father. Is that when we learn about that? When we learn about the actress part?
I think it's
forget-
different per universe, but
per universe.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think the constant is that like her father like doesn't let him. It's different, but like
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Of course, the big phrase of 2022, I guess, is generational trauma. But
Let's go.
honestly,
My favorite villain.
because I feel like every movie has that.
Pixar's favorite villain.
Especially after Turning Red, everybody on Twitter is like generational trauma. I'm so I love it. Anyway,
And
Encanto
Mhm.
true.
And
But
Frozen.
yeah, oh boy. I just what was I gonna go with? Oh yeah, I just found it so refreshing because like in the beginning of the movie, you realize like, oh, she's caring for her father. That's cool. But then you realize how much of an effect her father had on her growing up, and how much her father still has an effect on her at this older age, and how that affects Joy and everybody around her. It's just so unique and cool. I'm like, not really unique because I've seen it before, generational trauma, but the way they portray it here was really cool. I think the father was way more influential than I thought he was going to be in this movie. And he had some great scenes as like his alpha version because he was kind of like
great actor, man.
He was their leader, and he was like, she's got to go. He was kind of like the it reminded me of like the Force Ghost in Star Wars, where it's like, you got to kill Vader. She's like, this one, it's like, you got to kill your daughter. I'm like, wait, whoa. What's happening here? Like, this is some dark shit. But then, just like Luke Skywalker, Evelyn chose the good way. Like, this is some Star Wars poetry, rhymes. It's great. It's beautiful.
Down with the Jedi.
Basically, and in this one, she's like, down with my father. Like, I don't have to, like, I have to learn to love and forgive and move on, that kind of thing. It was really,
and
really
also
good.
it also goes back to like that scene towards the climax where she's basically giving this monologue about like how she as a mother has been like a mess, like ever since she left like her hometown, her family, to start her own family, and how she tells her daughter like, hey, I'm a mess, and guess what, you're just like me, but you are lucky that you had a father that was as patient and kind, caring as the one that you ended up with.
Another crying moment for me.
A lot of crying moments in that climax. The whole when the dad apologized to Jamie Lee Curtis after the whole shenanigans at the laundromat. So good. But yeah, like honestly, he might be my favorite character in all of this. I know there's a lot to choose
Which one?
from, but the dad, I keep forgetting the fucking names of
which version though.
Which version?
Which version? I guess the original, the one that we started with.
Yeah, I think the OG version, because he has like one of the best arcs. Like, they all have great arcs. Like I said, the multiverse has individual mini arcs that they go on. But I think the father really is great because in the beginning you think like he's like this happy-go-lucky, glass half full kind of guy, but then all of a sudden,
shit! Wait,
yeah,
put that on hold.
Sure.
What do we have here?
Oh, hello from the multiverse.
Finally,
from the multiverse,
this bitch is
from
back.
the kingdom itself.
I tried to get it all out in the shower. It's still there.
Oh.
What is that?
That's gonna sound weird, real weird all the context.
Don't provide context. Leave it like that.
My tie-dyed hands from being a slave for the mouse.
Serving the mouse.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully the mouse isn't watching this podcast.
DMCA.
You never know. The snipers are gonna come through my window and take me out right now.
Preston, you get some weird stuff.
That was awful.
I thought it was pretty good.
I like it.
Thank you, Nathan.
So now we have joining us
This is my last time on the podcast.
Third co-host on Where Heartbreak Feels Good, Preston. What are your thoughts on this movie?
That movie being Morbius.
Or Ambulance.
No, let's not get into Morbius.
Ambulance Sweep.
Ambulance Sweep. Yes. No,
I saw Ambulance. It was great.
Ambulance is crazy. It is a headache, and it's a headache I would gladly have again.
I'm legit. Yep. I'm getting this on Blu-ray. I don't got a lot of Michael Bay Blu-rays, but I'm watching this movie. It's so much fun.
I thought it would be horrible, and I just I
need to watch it, man.
It wasn't horrible, but at the same time, it was like, pretty much what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
But like in a good way. It was like the good version of what I thought it would be.
Exactly. I gave it 4 stars. I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a good time. No, I thought Everything Everywhere. I loved Everything Everywhere. I don't know what y'all have said or what you haven't already, but
we hated it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
4.5 stars.
No us
higher.
Roasting Evan for half a star.
Yeah.
I'm not. He's valid for his score. It's a respectable score.
A respectable score, he says.
But anyway, what are your thoughts on the movie? Come on, give us something.
I need to. I've been trying to find a time to go see it again, because the first time with a movie like this, the first time you see it is just like you get out of it and you're just like, holy shit, what I just watched. It's just so it's so unexpected of an experience, even though, you know, going into it, there's so much hype. Everybody's saying it's one of the best movies they've ever seen. I mean, even then you go into it, and for me, I'm very much, you know, if a movie has a strong emotional core, like I will be weeping. And I was just fully in tears for like the whole second half of this movie. And I can't even, you know, there are 2 movies ever, for me at least, that I've seen that right when I finish them, like it has inspired me to like go out and be a better person. And that's
Ambulance.
Soul. Ambulance, that's Morbius. No, Soul, the Pixar movie, and then this movie. And it's just like, that's why I want to watch it again, because it was just so, it took so much like recovery time of just like everything that it made me like feel, and like, I don't know, it was just so much all at once, if you will. And I just couldn't, it was difficult to even wrap my brain around, but I know that I loved it. It was enough that I really want to go see it again.
Yeah, I don't know why, but movie I kept waiting for somebody to actually say the full title out loud.
They always got close to saying it. That's the thing.
It's like the new Captain America Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
They keep teasing us.
What are we, some kind of everything everywhere all at once?
I was waiting for that exactly. But I can go back to what I was saying earlier. Preston, we were talking about our favorite scenes, and our favorite character being the father. What was the father's name? What's his name again?
Wayman.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about the ending, because I think early on he's a glass half full kind of person, but then you realize like, oh, he's the one that wants like divorce papers, so he's not actually super happy with his current life, like, which is kind of weird and interesting. Like, okay, I hope they dive into that more, and they kind of do through his multiverse versions of himself and his other actualizations of himself, and you realize how much he actually does love Evelyn. Going back all the way to the great flashback scene where he's like pulling her in, and it's like he's so happy to be in a dry cleaners. Like something as tame as a dry cleaners brings him so much happiness being with her. But then you fast forward to the present, and he like has divorce papers, so you kind of wonder like what went wrong along the way. And it kind of like the movie kind of dives into that, like the older you grow, like the life, and how like you're just basically like your heart deteriorates basically over time a little bit. But by the end, he has to learn like to love what you got, love the moments and everything like that. And his final scene was like Evelyn and Joy and them as a family in the parking lot. Like it was all just so perfect. I'm like, this scene, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Also, Preston, we mentioned the scene in the multiverse where she's a singer, and they're talking in the alleyway, and he turns around and says like, I would have been so
she's an
happy. Actress, sorry.
Yeah.
And he's
Duh.
like,
Obviously
Josh,
didn't.
Well,
my bad.
they're 2 very different universes.
4.5 stars.
I know. And he's like, I would have been
Actually,
fine just like in the multiverse, another universe, just filing taxes or just having a calm life with you. And that's one of my favorite scenes. He just walks away, one line, perfect. Like this movie.
This is how I fight.
Yeah. Oh, great scene.
That was what got me the most, was when he was like, "This is how I fight." I was like, "Holy shit!"
And
I
when
mean,
she
I was
comes,
already like,
I'm learning to fight
emotional.
like you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
It was really good.
I love how part of the reason why he filed for divorce is because he thought it would spark a conversation where they would be able to fix things.
That's what that
Yeah, you're right.
Other.
Yeah.
But it almost in a way almost kind of makes it worse. At least first, at least
Yeah.
that's what the movie kind of tricks you into believing. Finally signs the papers. But yeah, like he's perfect. I don't know if I want to call him like a lovable idiot, but he kind of is, and at least the original version of the character. But yeah, like
I mean, I think it's too harsh to say idiot, but yeah, he's a lovable, not clueless, because he knows what's going on. Like he knows he's not happy with his life, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's such a great, well-developed character.
Yeah.
And
One
it's
thing
just,
I
it's such. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your stuff.
I was just gonna say, it's such a. I think that's the core It's obviously like the core message of the whole film is just like the way that he chooses happiness despite everything. Like that's what got me, is when you realize you're like, oh, this guy isn't just some happy-go-lucky oh, I'm so tired. Happy-go-lucky, just some happy-go-lucky guy who doesn't, you know, ha- there's an aura of like almost immaturity about him, you know, at the beginning of just
Mm-hmm.
like just like always smiling, always happy, you know, whereas um she's the one dealing with real shit and she's the one handling real life things. Um and he's just kind of this side character who's there for kind of the laughs. But that turning point where you realize, oh, he realizes everything that's going on. He's just choosing to be happy. He's just choosing to be positive. And it's such a simple message of just choosing positivity. And there's a lot of ways that that's been portrayed in media where it doesn't really land and
Mm-hmm.
it comes across as cheeky and all that. But the way that just the way that it was, that reveal was done, and the way, you know, his monologue really is what you know sold it. um but that moment where you realize that he's not just a happy-go-lucky, you know, side character for laughs, like he's actually way more nuanced than that. I think that's what makes the core message of the film just so much more impactful.
Yeah, in a way, he almost kind of ends up being like the heart and soul of the movie, and not just because of like, oh, he's like the comedic relief, but because of what you just said, is he's like at the end the thing that kind of helps solve the main issue at hand is like Evelyn realizing that she kind of has to like fight the way that he's been fighting for their family their entire lives, and I think that's very beautiful. One thing I do wish the movie kind of explore a little bit more with Wayman, and I guess this is not really like the main purpose, because the main relationship in this movie is with his wife. But I do wish the movie kind of explore more of the father and daughter relationship, because we kind of get like little like teases like on the flashbacks of him like running around the laundromat like when she was a little kid, and the main relationship that Evelyn has with her daughter. That's like the main conflict. That's like her own like personal like character arc. But I do wish we kind of got more of like a father and daughter like scene, like a conversation or something that isn't just played for laughs. At least for me.
I think that's a great point to make. I've only seen this once, but from my perspective, I think she's more concerned. Joy is more concerned about like Evelyn's impact on her, because Evelyn's the one that, again, uh, on the exterior, feels so much more burdened and doesn't have time to talk with Joy or with Wayman. And even it's Evelyn's father, not Wayman's father, that Evelyn's always like shy of talking about Joy to her father. So I think that's why Joy has a particularly negative outlook on Evelyn rather than her father.
Yeah, and
Um,
Lemon is like, we know he's more accepting towards her. And
exactly.
yeah,
Like I can see Wayman talking to Joy more so. They might still not have the perfect relationship because the whole family as a whole, at least early on, seems like very dysfunctional. But I think that's why Joy particularly is
there's
looking
not
for
much of a
Evelyn.
conflict there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Which is interesting. But yeah, speaking about the whole dysfunctional family, the first shot of this movie is very weird because
I
like
love it.
it,
It's
it
so good.
it's them laughing and having a great time in the mirror, but then you go through the mirror and it's
I
them
love that
looking so
shot because
burdened.
it like
I just
it
remembered that.
not gets knocked over, then the mirror like just flips onto the actual like, universe. It's so
And
good,
it's
and
so
the
it's like the
colors
opposite of
and
what we were expecting. Because as I
yeah.
was first watching it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a happy family, and then crazy stuff happens. But nope. 5 seconds later, you realize, yeah, Evelyn's so burdened by everything. Uh, Wayman's going around trying to be all happy, and then Joy is depressed. I'm like, okay, this is not the family I thought we were going to get.
Quick
Yeah, that was really cool.
aside, but like not really aside, but the score in this movie is like I've been listening to it nonstop. It's amazing.
Oh,
The score,
need
like
to listen
during
to
that
it.
scene, the opening scene, like when they're going through the
Mhm.
apartment in the laundromat, is so good, and the main theme is like amazing. You guys
Yeah.
should listen to it.
what's the composer? Who's the composer?
They're in. It's a band who composed it. Zot Sluts, I think. It's a.
Oh.
I've never heard of them, but they did
Interesting.
fantastic work.
It's a
I'll have to listen
long
to
ass
that.
fucking score. It's 49 tracks. Shit.
It's a
49
Whoa.
expansive expansive album, which I love.
How long?
Okay.
You never see movies like put out every piece of music onto streaming, but like I love that shit.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
I'll have to check that out after the stream.
Even the Randy Newman Ratatouille song is on there, and it's amazing. It's a
Mhm.
banner.
Who voices the raccoon again?
Randy Newman.
Oh yeah.
Really?
So
I was
good.
checking my phone.
Randy Newman.
Rakakuni.
That scene is, I think
One
the
of the best
first hint.
jokes in-
Yeah, I think the first
Really?
hint that you ever get of a raccoon actually being on top of his head is after she hits the woman with the egg, and then she turns around to see the guy on the other table,
Yeah,
and he has like the chef hat, but it has
it's
like
moving
this
around a
little,
bit.
yeah, and if you like blink, you'll miss it, but like on my second view, because I totally forgot this is in the movie, but on my second view, and I was like, oh, I see, now I get it, I know where this
Yeah.
is going.
And it's so cool that they use an animatronic for it too. Like I love the use of practical and like visual effects, the mix between it. It's like it's indie like budget filmmaking, but it does not look like it at all, and it's so impressive.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams would be so proud.
Real sets, practical
Practical
effects.
effects.
It's just always nice, especially to see like, and this is something that I loved about the way they did Yoda in The Last Jedi, is that they used a puppet, and it's like it's a puppet when it's on screen. Like you don't see that and think, oh my god, it looks so real. It's a puppet, but at the
It
same
hits
time,
different though.
yeah, it hits.
Oh, we lost your volume there.
Oh yeah. You're
You got a little bit
you're-
muffled, or you sound a little bit low.
Come back.
Come back to us.
Yeah, but
It's amazing. He had like
Oh.
the loudest like crisp mic I've ever heard.
Yeah. yeah. How is
He
his?
went to-
I thought we had the same fucking mic. I don't know what. I don't know.
I know we all have snowball.
He went to fight something on the multiverse. He'll be back.
Exactly, but I agree with what he was saying though in terms of practical effects. It's just a lot of this looked very believable, but we didn't really talk about Josh's background there. Like the whole rock
this
stuff.
scene is so
it-
beautiful. Like how
One of my
My theater
Competitor
cracked
for the
up,
best scene.
and then in a couple minutes we were all just listening.
yeah.
listening to silence, but we're
Yeah.
like reading along.
At first, it's
Oh.
silence, right? And then the white text is like I think the white text is.
it's
her,
one of the
and
most
black
unique
text
like
is her.
theatrical experiences too. There's like like Nathan, at first it's the silence, then you hear like chuckles start, then like everyone's laughing at one point, then it goes
Yeah.
back to silence. It's so like such a fascinating
Cathartic.
experience.
Yeah.
Finish
I really
your
like that.
puppet, Preston.
Oh no,
What? That sounded like
Yeah.
a bee.
Still can't hear you.
no.
It's like very, very muffled.
Try unplugging it, maybe.
It sounds like a bee buzzing.
Try turning it on and off.
The B movie.
Are we trying to unplug
But yeah,
Wait,
that scene
yeah.
was also one of the most emotionally surprising scenes of the movie, where like they're falling off the cliff and everything. I'm like, whoa, like this is dark.
Yeah. Honestly, like there's so many cool like visuals in this movie to the point
Mhm.
that I think the worst, and I say not because I think it's bad, but I think the worst like looking like visual set, I guess, in the entire movie, at least my least favorite one, is when they're like in that white like throne
the
room
bagel.
with the bagel. Yeah, that it was kind of like,
Oh,
it's
really?
not that it looked, yeah,
It
it's
looked
not that
good,
it looked bad. It just like felt like very like
Gave me Deathly
Uh,
Hollow vibes personally.
like
yeah, honestly.
like I've seen this before in a movie, when
The
when
Limbo.
everything, yeah, Yeah, when everything else is just so original and unique and it pops, and then you go to just this white room
But
and
like
you're just
that's
like,
also like
That's the point
balanced
of it,
by the
right?
fact that
yeah,
it's a
Egger's
fucking
gonna hate my
bagel.
show.
That's like the
Yeah,
evil thing.
I liked it because it was like so devoid of everything. It felt like they were in a room of
Yeah.
nothingness. And then you saw the black real emptiness in
What
shape of a bagel. It was
what
really
did Preston say jokingly once in chat? Nothing, nowhere, none at all, or something.
not at all.
That was before we saw it.
I
That
know.
fucking bitch.
Yeah, but that whole throne room set was really cool because again, it was her facing that ultimatum of having to like subject or realize like, oh, life is worthless, and like you must accept that life is worthless. And then, Josh, you've seen this more than me. Like, what happens after that? Like, what was her final scene in that throne room? Like, she turns around and says, like, I accept you, something like
This
that.
is when the Waymond monologue starts, and like when
Okay.
she starts, then she like turns around and starts like realizing, hey, being kind isn't a bad thing, and being like, yeah, that whole scene.
Okay, I love that.
What script page
can you
was that?
explain
Can you just
Can you explain that scene some more, Josh? 'Cause I think that was very interesting. That was one of my also favorite scenes in the movie. I just can't remember it that well. But
Yeah, so I think it starts like with Joy like or Jobu to was it?
Jobu Tobaki, something like that.
Yeah, and when she like starts trying to get Evelyn on her side, and we get the montage of Evelyn going through, hey, like like fuck everything else, just focusing on me, and like nothing matters basically. And
Yeah.
she stabs Waymond in the actual universe, and or wait, it's technically it's not the actual universe. It's like
Oh,
I don't know, the IRS building one.
they're in the IRL's building, but it's not the actual universe. It's like
Yeah.
it's a side thing going on. Yeah.
So
That
that
was a little bit
starts. Then
confusing to
like
me.
Waymond, because he's stabbed, he like says, "Stop! Hey, everyone just needs to be kind." And that's when we get to his monologue in that montage, and that's when like she turns around and starts getting like, hey, realizing, yeah, be kind, and
Love
not
and
everything needs to
affection.
be
kind,
love
rewind.
and yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the way
that was
it's
also
handled between like that balance when we see like it's just the editing. I can't say enough about it. It's just so good.
exactly like just the visual between her and Joy too, because Joy is sitting there. I think Stephanie is so phenomenal as the evil villain here, because she's so pessimistic, she's so nihilistic about everything going on. Understandably so. By this point in the movie, we understand why she feels that way throughout all the different multiverses. And the way that she's reacting to what Evelyn's saying is very cool. And then on top of that, her at the outside of the dry cleaners at the end of the movie. Two great performances from her. Preston, you still loud and clear?
Yoda?
And the charm.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
For the tease. The
No.
tease. He
We had
came
it for a
in and
second,
shot
no.
down.
bad.
Try again.
Maybe it's
No.
like a headphone
Preston.
setting or something.
Yeah, that's true. It might be a headphones thing. Yeah,
It's been fine on every other episode, so I don't know.
yeah, it's weird.
Is it us?
Yeah.
Is the multiverse collapsing?
It's Mickey Mouse. They got
Got
him.
sniped by
The
the mouse.
DMCA got him, man. I
Yeah,
told you.
but I had a blast with that whole final scene in the throne room because again, it felt
Yeah.
so Star Warsy, where it's like you
Mhm.
must accept that all hope is lost, and she's like, no.
Then the transition from that, like the montages to the empathy fight, well, in
Yeah.
the stairwell is like,
Oh, that was so cool.
oh, it's such a cool fight sequence. So where like she has to like Taylor made like not fight, but like get them to like be nice to the people, and
Mhm.
that reminded me so much of Scott Pilgrim. Of like the
Oh,
way
oh.
it's shot, the music, and like it's so good.
Great reference there.
Scar
they're
him, the power of self-respect.
Yeah, honestly.
That's a great point. Because I remember seeing that part in the like trailer where they're all like ready to fight. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a cool action sequence. But I didn't know how much it was gonna like emotionally mean to me by
Exactly.
that point in the movie because she's fighting and it's incredible. Like the action stunts again, phenomenal.
For my second viewing, I watched it in IMAX. I'm so glad I watched this movie in IMAX. It's such a cool
nice.
experience with all the
Let's
aspect ratio shifts and stuff. But it was one of the special screens they did, and at my theater they had the martial arts team did the Q&A and stuff before and after.
Oh,
so it was really cool hearing about they were just a bunch of YouTubers who did martial arts stuff on their own short films, and they're approached by A24 and Daniels, and it's cool because they're given full creative freedom with what they want to do, especially since the script is so big and ambitious. That's why the things like the butt plug scene is so insane, because it's such a well choreographed fight scene, but it's so bonkers madness too. It's that balance between wacky and emotional, and it's just so
Silly
insane in this movie. Yeah.
yeah. The whole, I guess the weirdness of this movie might be also part of my point five. Like the whole, I'm sorry. Just the weirdness I loved, but there are certain things like for example the hot dog universe. I'm like,
No,
what is
but
happening?
that's what's
Like,
so.
I loved it. I loved parts of it. Other parts I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. But I loved what it meant, Josh. Like I understood the assignment, but I just the hot dog was just a little
The
bit
scene
weird.
about
A
the
little
whole
weird.
universe about the hot dog fingers, what's so special about it to me is because at first when it's introduced as a joke, but once we
Yes.
get to the kindness montage, when she's
And the
playing piano with her
dancing.
feet, I'm
Yeah.
literally about to cry during that scene because it's so beautiful, and their relationship is so well done and
I
so
agree.
unexpectedly done well.
I agree, but then it jumps to her like sucking her toes or whatever.
But that's
And
that's
I'm like,
emotional for this universe. That's the sign of affection and care
I
and love
agree.
for this
You're
universe.
right.
Whoever
You're right.
just joined the stream last 10 seconds.
It was just I'm like, okay.
But the great use of Clear to Wound too. for a
Really
needle
great.
drop. Yeah.
That was awesome. I was like, oh, I did not see that coming. Better than
I
Jurassic
love
World.
a good Clear to
Godzilla.
Wound needle drop.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And this is some good ones.
Yeah.
What's the best rep in this movie? Because mine, I think, would have to be the universe where she's a singer, and it cuts back and forth between her singing and the fight in the office
Yeah, it's so
set.
cool.
Oh yeah.
That's probably it might, besides the final battle where she's fighting everybody through the stairs. I think that might be my favorite, just because of the use of the music. It's just so fucking cool.
And the riot shield too.
Yeah.
I love the cinematography of the martial arts universe, just like the framing.
I
with
love the
sword
scene
and
where
trimmings.
it goes when Stephanie Shu or Joy and Evelyn are going through the different universes in a fighting stance, and it just cuts so well.
Mhm.
From the samurai universe to the prison cell, I guess.
Yeah.
That cut is so good.
That was really cool. Oh, I like the first introduction to Jobu. When you don't really know who it is, and then the elevator opens up, and then the policemen's are like, "What the hell's going on?" And then the lights are
gun
flickering
bomb.
on and off. Yeah,
I
Darth Vader?
I thought it was gonna be Jenny Slate's character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I was just like, because she's kind of she's not like a big actress, but she was more recognizable than anybody else at that who had that level of screen time or that seemingly not a big character at the time. I was like, oh yeah, she could totally play that well.
She would crush that role too.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, I was obviously very happy with who it ended up being. But
yeah, when it turned out it was Joy, I'm like, brain blast. Like that works. That makes so much sense for the context of the movie. Like already in the first 30 minutes, you realize Joy and the mom Evelyn are not having the best relationship. So when it turns out that Joy is the evil one, that she's been tasked to fight and kill, I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to get a lot more complicated.
In the alpha verse, that Evelyn literally pushed Joy to the limit, past the limit, and made her go numb basically, and not have any nothing matters. Yeah, like it says in the movie.
Yeah.
That she puts her that far, and that translates throughout each universe. It's really cool.
That was really cool. But yeah, I love that whole hallway scene. It felt very like, Netflix Daredevil Nunkin. But
I'm gonna edit this into our Mando season
The
2
costume
review.
design in this
Yeah,
movie and
exactly.
how it the edits between each costume that quickly, and
yeah,
there's so many good costumes in this movie, and you
Yeah.
wouldn't expect it.
not at all. Just in that one scene, she Stephanie's Joy was going through so many different costumes as she's beating the crap out of the policeman. It was
And
so
on the
cool.
stairway fight, when she just drops down the steps, so literally every time she drops is a different costume.
Yeah. But also, I think
Really cool.
the action scene that get everybody invested in the movie really is when Wayman starts going ham with a what is it
Fanny
called?
pack?
Fanny pack. That one is that when the action? Is that when the
That's the first action scene.
aspect
The
ratio
aspect ratio
has changed?
goes
Okay.
to-
Because I started losing my mind. I'm like,
different
okay,
areas.
aspect ratio is changing. Something's happening here. What's about to happen? And then he starts beating the crap out of the whole security force. And everybody started going crazy. Like, that was a great moment. The whole audience is like, whoa, whoa. Like, we're
all
laughing.
3 of my screenings, the
Great.
audience was so good. This movie,
Yeah.
if people see it, they love it and have a great time with it. It's just that kind of movie.
I agree. It felt like a sports movie where, in sports movie, there's always so many
felt-
great moments.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, we can do it. And
It
then this one,
honestly
it's the same
felt
way.
like a Marvel movie to me.
Yeah.
That level of fan engagement and or viewer
How dare
engagement.
you? No, I'm kidding.
Honestly, my first and second screenings were as big as No Way Home. Honestly, it was so cool to see that for an A24 movie with a $25 or $1 million budget.
No Way Home. Is that
That's
the Morbius movie?
Yeah, I mean, for
Morbius,
me,
No Way
it
Home.
felt a lot like Ant-Man and the Wasp for me, so I get it. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
makes sense.
Man.
The guy
Never
sitting
done
on my
that
right,
with that down.
the guy sitting on my right when I was watching the movie for the first time with Josh was like having the time of his life. It's like he had never seen a movie before in his life. And,
Honestly, it was a special experience.
That's funny. But yeah, the whole scene with Wayman just going ham. I'm like, this is incredible. Yeah, and the way they shot it too, you could tell it was mostly him as well, doing all those crazy
Because
stunts.
he was he quit acting for a while after the 80s and 90s and stuff, but he was still behind the scenes as a stunt coordinator.
I heard about
Yeah.
that. That was really cool. And
He
again, we
did
mentioned
most of the stunts.
we mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but in terms of Oscars, I would definitely best supporting actor. Let him be in
And
there for
Michelle Yeoh for lead. They
Oh,
both have
100%.
such good narratives for it too.
sure. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, especially her because she hasn't been. Has she been nominated before?
No,
I don't think she's ever been nominated.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Was she nominated for that?
I think the movie was nominated, but I don't know if she was.
No, and I don't think she was for Crazy Rich Asians also.
I would not be surprised if this movie gets 0 nominations. That does not mean it's bad.
I
did it, but that's the thing is
I get it. Yeah,
this movie is way more accessible than Green Knight.
Yeah,
it's also
10
it's a
times
really
more
bad.
accessible.
It's a bad time for it to come out.
I
too.
disagree.
Get Out came out in February, Preston.
Get Out was February. A Quiet Place had a similar buzz in 20. Granted, A Quiet Place didn't have so much buzz, but
if it can keep up, then sure. But there are.
I think it can because
there are
everyone
outliers
who
to
sees
that.
it loves it.
Yes.
I haven't seen any negative reviews. Barely.
Yeah, we talked about it during our Oscar podcast. Look, the movies ahead, looking ahead. The fall season is incredibly stacked. Incredibly stacked. We have Barbie, and I'm kidding, but
are you?
I mean,
you
it
maybe
will be
shouldn't
once it comes out.
I doubt Barbie's
Greta
going to
Gerwig.
get Best Picture nomination.
Can't.
Imagine.
And man, I'll be.
I mean, I think it will be.
Cut to this if Barbie gets a Best Picture nomination. I love you, Greta Gerwig.
150 million, baby.
I would not be surprised at all if Barbie
Greta
was
Gerwig
big
is
at the Oscars.
does
not at all. Unironically, would not be surprised.
I would.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they have sitting in there, but
That's because they have a great cast. Doesn't mean
Lady
it's
Bird,
gonna get-
Little Woman.
this
Hair and
done it
makeup,
every
baby.
film.
I agree.
Greta Gerwig doesn't make bad films, and
Yeah.
casts like this don't assemble for bad films.
They don't, but Knives Out was super buzzed. Didn't get any Best Picture nomination. I'm just
It
saying.
was almost there though. And that was Ryan Johnson, not Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson's great. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
think
Greta Gerwig already has 2 Best Picture nominations.
True, but it's also like, anyways.
Tangent.
A tangent aside, like I'd also argue like a movie like Creed, which is I think a perfect movie, came out in November, didn't get any Best Picture nomination. Anyways, I think I can definitely. I'm with Josh. Like I used to be like Preston, but then I watched this movie.
I used to be like that too. Like once I first
What's
saw
that
it, I was like, no, this is way
I don't know where I was going.
way too bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a movie that's too crazy, but like looking at audience scores, critic scores, I think the buzz will
Literally
continue.
everything it has going for it right now. It
I
just
think-
has to keep up the buzz.
The best thing is like I think I can see this movie being like the most praiseworthy movie leading up into the fall festival. Like
Yeah.
I don't see a movie between now and the fall festival like in Venice that's going to surpass this movie in terms of like buzzworthiness. So I think it'll be like the biggest buzzworthy movie. In
And
the
they're
first half of
campaigning the
year.
hell out of it already. Like they're doing
Yeah.
a bunch of screenings and stuff.
So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. Outside of the Tech Awards, I think it'll get some good Tech Awards.
I
as
think
well.
it's gonna do a lot of tech awards or nominations at least.
Yeah, but
optimistic.
yes, for once.
That's rare.
Movie made me-
Mandalorian season 3.
Oh
Bad
boy.
Batch
Maybe
season 2.
Yeah. I mean, this one isn't directed by those two guys, those Iron Man people. But
The one Iron
yeah.
Man.
Oh, true. But I just remembered the Iron Man story that Dave Filoni always keeps hyping up.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni kicked off the MCU.
Exactly.
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The true blueprint.
The true one. But yeah, this movie just has it all. Like emotional scenes. Nathan, you're known to like cry. Did you cry at any scene in this movie?
Oh, is that even
You're
a
known
question?
for
You're known to cry.
Of course you did.
Nathan cries at everything. You go to Fast and Furious 9 and be like, the scene between his brothers.
I ain't crying at none. Willingly. That Yoda scene, man. But no. Did I cry? I don't remember because it's been a minute since I watched the movie.
Have you also only seen it once, right?
Yeah, I saw it once.
If you
Like-
didn't cry, how did you not cry in this? How did anyone not cry in this?
I'm not a crier.
I'm sure I cry. If I didn't cry, I
Besides
teared up.
Evan.
And if only reason I didn't fully cry is probably I was dehydrated or something. Because that's the only way to stop me. But
Quick
yeah, I'm
question, did you cry in Fantastic Beasts, the new one?
Oh no.
Or
No.
not. The
You tried during the second
Um,
one though.
I'd have to look back in my brain in 2018.
I cried during
You just
season
rewatched
one.
it though.
I did just
tried during the second
on my rewatch. No, I didn't cry. Had fun. Skull bong, baby.
Oh god.
But that's another time. The case if I can keep my podcast card, I'm gonna have to go on trial. But for this movie, yeah, I think I definitely had some tearjerker moments. Specifically, I think the alleyway scene that we keep talking about, and probably like come the very end as well. I definitely was getting at least misty.
That whole
eyed for
empathy
sure.
fight like on the stairs. It's just that was so emotionally powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the closing scene of this movie is so fucking like
I love it.
emotion charged. Like
What's the
it's
closing of
very
this movie?
It's just them at the taxes office again, and
Oh,
being
yes.
she's like looking at her family, and she's getting distracted by what Jamie Lee Curtis character is.
So she like
saying-
I love when Indians do this, where like it seems happy-go-lucky, but like she still has like all of the multiverses, all the universes in her head still, and she has to like live with that now.
Mhm.
It's so cool, such a cool. ending.
Sequel.
Honestly,
Ew.
like
No.
I wouldn't be mad.
Franchise potential.
Watch
Folded
these-
into the MCU.
Watch the Daniels. Like Kevin Feige's already probably on the phone calls. Like, get.
I mean,
these
it was
two
produced
movies
by
in.
the Russos.
It was.
Yeah, it was. I forgot about that. I was like produced by the Russos. I'm like, oh wow.
See, me and
okay.
Well, they
Andrew,
turned down
seen that
Loki.
during the credits, and
We turned
we
to
said, "What the
we were
fuck?"
like, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna be for the second. I was like, oh. Cherry was a
Arguably,
fluke.
arguably the best piece of work that they've had. their names
100%
attached to.
by far.
The best what?
the
Oh, wait,
best
we
piece
for-
of work
we're
that
forgetting
they've
about
had their
Cherry.
names involved in.
Cherry's the best thing they've all.
Much as
they've
I
done.
love Infinity War and Endgame, I literally, as the credits rolled, I was the letterbox chump, and I opened the app, and I immediately placed it as one of my 4 favorites.
Me too.
Endgame or Infinity War, both.
No,
Oh,
Everything Everywhere.
Everything everywhere. Oh, I was like, wait, what?
I replaced Spider-Verse. I'm sorry, Evan.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. Again, this movie came out 3 weeks ago. Like, I'll have to see if it's better than Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I don't usually do that with movies, but like this movie is really special to me already, and like I'm full hype. Let myself be hyped for this movie.
I mean,
My first words in chat were Josh was right.
Tell your sister she was right. I can see that. Like, I've had certain experiences with movies like that. Like when I first saw Blade Runner or Arrival, especially, I'm like,
You're
okay,
just gonna leave it at Blade.
Yeah, when I saw Blade,
Or Morbius.
yeah, when I was a boy.
When Morbius stabbed Milo, I could get out past it.
What?
That happens? I saw the movie and I don't remember.
I was
No,
like,
The
my-
thing I saw when I was working at my theater was Matt Smith dancing around as a vampire. I was like, how is this movie bad?
Cinema.
That's what I'm saying. that's the peak.
You said Milo. I was like, is this Atlantis or something? What's going on?
Preston's getting aneurysms with every
Is
time.
this
I
Milo
praise.
notice?
I'm too tired for this right now.
Hey, I'll openly rag on the end credit scene though.
I can't. That
Even
movie
if I-
is so bad. It's
Even-
so bad. There's no
Even if I wanted to
structure.
see Morbius, I think it's like too late now. Like, the movie theaters like are dropping astronomically. So it's like, yeah,
I've just seen worse movies, man. I'm sorry.
yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
Deep Water is probably the worst movie of the year. No,
It was a fun time though.
yeah.
No
I would
alcohol
be-
required.
I
You
haven't
wanna-
seen Deep Water, but I would be really surprised if it was worse than Morbius.
You want to see
Hey,
a bad
hey,
movie? Watch
Deep
The
Water
Bubble.
commentary coming soon.
I think Deep Water is bad in a fun way. I don't know if Morbius
I
is
wanna
bad in a
do
fun way, but
What is Deep Water?
Ben
Ben
Affleck,
Affleck,
Ana de
Ana de
Armas,
Armas.
Oh, that's right.
sexual thriller. It's not
Do
sexual
I
at
go
all.
for it? I know. Sorry.
I mean,
Her
go for Ana
pulling
de
a cube
Armas.
out of her mouth after going down on Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Sinful.
Morbius is not bad in a fun way, to answer your
Okay.
question. It's
Okay.
just bad in a bad
Just
way.
Bad in a bad way. So it's like Crimes of Grindelwald, bad kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
I
made
don't know
it
what you guys are
also
talking about.
Yeah.
Nathan's like, Crimes of Grindelwald, good, you mean?
I'm trying.
Nathan, that is one thing I'm not putting on our commentary list. I refuse to watch Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm not doing that.
Maybe someday.
Well, would you rather watch like Michael Bay's worst movie over Crimes of Grindelwald?
Yes, Michael Bay is an American hero, of course. Ambulance changed me, motherfuckers.
Okay. Ambulance changed. me.
It's great.
You're
The
like,
whole
before
theater
we
was
Ambulance
like,
ruined me for other movies.
Arrival
ambulance
movie?
sweep.
I know, right? Best picture ambulance over everything everywhere.
It has
Aliens.
the best surgery.
Forget
scene in all
Babylon.
cinema.
It's ambulance.
It does. The best surgery scene of all time is in ambulance. Man, ambulance is great. It's great. Anyways, yeah. Is there anything else for this movie? I think this movie just has it all. I keep saying that, but it has like the emotional moments, the action, the comedy, the drama. There's a weird sci-fi. Oh, we didn't talk about it, but the way this movie sets up the rules of how to access
Oh, it's so
the
cool.
Avers,
It's, like,
really
I love
cool.
it.
Because it's like, I have to get paper cuts, 5 paper cuts across like the.
You have to do
index of my
something
fingers,
weird and
whatever.
like unexpected to get
Yeah.
the slingshot into a different universe.
My audience
It's so
winced
cool.
when they was trying to get the paper cuts.
Everybody did. I was like,
Yeah. There was like
Yeah.
hints of like this movie. The thing about it I love is like the Daniels created something so unique. It's like despite taking so many like influences and inspirations from different movies and stuff. Like there's obviously the Matrix is in here. Star Wars, like the original trilogy. So many like different influences, yet they still made something like, wholly original in my mind.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think for sci-fi movies especially, what really gets me is like, how are the rules set up? Are they going to stick to those rules and it's not going to be goofy? Like, I just saw the Adam Project, not just, but earlier this month I saw Adam Project, and the sci-fi rules are very inconsistent. And it was just like, oh yeah, we're having a fun time. Ryan Reynolds. Like this one was more so. It wasn't really like that. But
Or new Percy Jackson. Also.
exactly. Hey, yeah,
Ryan Reynolds is
Walker.
Percy Jackson.
Exactly.
He's honored.
He plays Zeus.
Oh no,
Honored.
I'm still following the other account.
But yeah, what Evan was saying, the roles,
yeah.
like to me felt very much like Jackass too. Like doing something weird to like I took those. It kind of felt like that. Those vibes.
I never saw those movies.
Commentary.
That's a weird comparison, but it actually
Do you understand
fits
it, though?
very perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it was just really cool. I love when sci-fi gets really weird like that, but it maintains like that weirdness and consistency the whole way through.
But you don't like High Life.
Oh God, no, I do not like High Life. Not a great
Wait,
movie.
we're in a new movie?
Yeah, not great.
I haven't seen it still. I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
It's good. You like it.
I mean, if you want to see a naked Robert Pattinson, go ahead. Isn't he naked, or is that other somebody naked?
Does he masturbate in that movie?
Maybe.
There's the description. I'm not even gonna go in because it's weirder than. I can
Yeah.
even describe.
I couldn't
Does
tell
he
you the plot.
masturbate in Good Time also?
I know. Does he?
No.
No, that's
No.
what I've heard.
You haven't seen Good Time yet?
No.
Huh. Maybe you
This
should have a
podcast
good
is over.
time and go see it. Exactly. Good time's great. Cinema. Yeah. But how do we get onto the subject? Either way,
Jackass 2 was the gateway.
okay.
Cinema.
Yeah, I liked like Josh was saying, my whole crowd was wincing with the paper cut scene, or even when she's fighting the two security guards or somebody, and
The
then
butt plugs?
they need the butt plugs. I'm like, oh, those are coming back now, and it's really weird because
Amazing.
you're just like cringing in the seat. You're like, that's gross, and
Not
especially
like this.
when they're fighting and it's still in their butts. I'm like, this is
It's so
bad.
good.
This is crazy.
Probably the
They
hardest. time to
pixelated
laugh.
though, like
Yeah,
like they do overseas.
So good.
Very funny. Yeah, this movie just had so many laugh out loud moments. It was
Then
great.
yeah, Ratatouille. The whole Ratatouille bit is like fucking gold.
Raccoon.
It is
Raccoon.
so good.
Really cool, and also like
Preston chimes in just for the correction.
it was oddly inspirational as well. Like when they're running
Mm.
after, it felt very cliche but very cool in a way too. It was like, come on, running after the car, and it was just very cool and crazy. I loved it. Yeah.
The funniest thing about that about the raccoon joke is that I don't know why, but for some reason it reminded me of such a like a mom thing of like how your parents or somebody older remembers a movie like differently than it actually is.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
So that
It
was
was, it was a good mom moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This movie, great movie. I think I'm at a 4 now out of 5 stars. Just kidding, Josh. Just kidding.
What gave it away?
have
Oh,
that.
that's a
Oh,
that's what I do.
no,
That's-
knows.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
The record
I see how
scratch
it
the
is.
introduction.
I know, right? Wow. Now
Is there
impressed
anything else is there anything else we've missed that we would like to
I don't think so.
I don't
If you're
think-
somehow watching this still and haven't seen the movie, go see it because it's
Are you convinced?
indie filmmaking and at its best, and we need to support it.
Mhm.
bring back the mid-budget blockbuster? Come on.
It's not even mid budget. It's
Yeah,
low,
low
budget.
budget.
Like,
Yeah.
25 million. That's insane.
Mid
wanna-
budget was
And what's
Yeah.
better than like most blockbusters?
You want a mid-budget blockbuster, man? Introduce
Ambulance.
you to Dr. Michael Morby.
oh, gosh.
Isn't that like to have a huge budget though? Just a,
40 million already made its budget back.
really?
Yeah, that's why
It
honestly looks good. Honestly,
Morbius looks good. The seat, and
Really?
it's the same. You could say the same for both the Venom movies too,
Venom 2
Um,
looks really good.
which
Venom
are
2 looks good.
better
Yeah.
than Morbius, regardless of what you think of the Venom movies. They're better than Morbius. Because
Venom
I don't
2
even love them,
slaps.
but
I
they're
stand
way
by
better
that.
than Morbius.
Great comedy.
But Morbius looks like the CGI in Morbius, the visual effects, and for the most part, the cinematography, the color grading is
Mm.
phenomenal. I mean, it's really good. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, you could tell that
Holy
from the
shit.
trailers.
Which
I
one
but
is here?
I did it. I pulled
Tyler,
out.
we miss you.
What's up?
We miss you, Tyler.
long have I waited. He's back from the dead.
Somehow he has returned.
He's
From the
back.
grave.
I've done it.
He's
I put out
back.
positive review of Preston Morbius.
That's. I mean, I said that after I got out. I mean, it's the same thing in all of those.
Yes, we
Ah,
are.
Oh boy.
Too kind.
Celebration. We are.
Every Sony Universe Marvel movie has looked great.
Great?
Not
And
Venom 1.
that's
Venom 2
it.
looks that shit.
Great?
I think
Evan,
Venom
let him
1 looks
finish,
great.
please.
No, I think it looks great. I think Venom looks great. I said that from the beginning.
Not Venom 1.
Venom looks great. The design of Venom, not the movie. But
Yeah. But there's some
I
bad
think
green screen in Venom 1.
There's some bad green screen, but the CGI is really, really top notch stuff.
Just for Venom though.
I think Riot looks all right.
Okay.
Hold on.
It's actually Nathan who thinks
Morbius
that,
is
yeah.
actually one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh my
but it
God.
looks.
Hey,
It looks.
Can't be that bad.
Settle
Can't be that
down.
It's not
bad.
that bad. It's not that bad.
No, it is.
Worse than Catwoman? Come on.
You
That's what
really
I'm
think
saying. He
Morbius?
hasn't seen
you,
it.
I don't. I
you
don't
really
watch.
think Morbius is on the level as Crimes
you haven't
of
seen
Grindelwald?
Catwoman?
I think Morbius is worse than Crimes.
Yeah, you
of
need to watch
Grindelwald.
Catwoman, Preston. That
Catwoman
is actual trash.
I
That's
I
my favorite.
avoid bad movies. I try not
Okay.
to watch bad movies.
Yeah. Then you
I'm
done a
like
great
me.
job.
This is why you don't know.
Edgar's built different.
Yeah,
I
Edgar-
honestly could be the president of the Razzies if I tried.
Mr. Thunder Force or Watcher.
Oh God. Yeah, that was a
The
movie.
one of 5 people who've seen that movie.
Which movie?
Nathan, you can't get mad at me anymore for
Thunderforce?
calling you Morbius enjoyer because you just fully accepted it.
Oh, I did it for the memes, bro.
Oh, sure,
What's the truth? We'll never know.
we know.
Well, no.
I know.
You know.
Anyway, anything everywhere is good.
It's good.
Just good.
It's fine.
And Morbius is not. It's my roundup.
I think I still might have Sonic 2 above
Obviously,
this by a
I'm with
little
you,
bit.
Nathan.
Wait, what?
You
Sonic
what?
what?
What did you say?
Sonic what?
I said Sonic 2 is better than this, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
Oh my God.
kidding, he says. His catchphrase.
Yeah.
Preston
They don't
is-
get
is still
they don't get
tired.
my stick. Nathan gets me.
I'm tired.
He's just like you.
He's just like me for real.
On
For
God.
real.
On baby.
Oh God.
Anyway, anything else we want to talk about? Anything that we've missed?
Hope we get to all the awards.
Mm-hmm.
Nominations.
I hope it
At least
gets
editing.
I hope
It
it
better
gets more
fucking
than
win
2.
editing. If it doesn't win editing, that would be the biggest snub.
Whoa, I mean, jeez. I'm not gonna
We
say
have
it
the
has
rest
to-
of the year to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I already think that. I don't care.
You can't be making statements like that in April.
Exactly. April.
What other
Honestly-
movies have better editing than this?
We
You
don't
just-
know.
Multiverse
We
of
haven't
Madness,
seen
You
it.
Literally-
baby.
the
Raimi
Flower
the
Moon?
Blueprint.
You literally
Okay,
just
Josh,
cannot
Josh.
be saying things like that so
Oh
early.
my
It's
gosh.
just wrong to say.
God.
You're
I'm
probably
not
gonna be
wrong.
right.
Josh,
You're
Josh,
probably gonna be right, but
Josh.
you can't say it.
What?
Josh.
What, Edgar? What?
I don't think you've realized this, for better or worse, that probably the biggest movie in terms of technicality that's gonna sweep everything is probably gonna be Avatar 2. You know that, right?
I mean, yeah.
I don't
but
know.
not
I
editing.
don't know editing exactly, but I think Avatar 2 can get a lot of nominations. I don't know if it's gonna win.
The
shit.
Flash will be the technical sweeper.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
didn't that
yeah.
get delayed?
Delayed, yeah, just like
That's
July.
next year.
but
Next year.
until
But
he just-
honestly, at
yeah.
least for
Another
editing, I don't
news.
see anything coming close to this. I know it's like early to say, but I surely believe that.
We haven't seen shit.
It's
You can
it's
say
honestly
there's
some
a
of the best
difference.
editing I've ever seen. Probably
Oh
the
my
best.
God.
There's
Over
a
the
difference.
Batman?
How can you do what? How can you not say not agree?
There is a Josh. There is a difference between saying this is some of the best editing I've ever seen. I think it will win this award, and saying if it doesn't win this award, it's already a snub. You can't
Yeah.
say that. You can't say that. You just can't
Okay,
do
if
it.
it doesn't
You
get
can't-
nominated,
You can't say
it
that
doesn't
yet
get
and
nominated
expect
at least.
any of your other takes to be taken
If
seriously.
it
There we
Josh,
go. Jesus Christ.
doesn't
can't.
get nominated,
I
Remember-
threw
sorry.
my
how about
seriousness out the
that?
window years ago.
I
You're
know.
probably going to be right. You're probably going to be right. but
man.
we don't know. It's April.
You're talking
Oh.
to Oscar expert Preston. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's
Duh.
true.
Oh my god.
I mean, I won, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Evan did win.
Oh, by
Evan
one,
won.
you're right.
Evan won.
Evan, the expert.
Yeah.
You know what else Evan got right? Belfast.
Belfast, great movie. No. Yeah. Oh wow. There he goes.
Dune snub.
He's left.
No.
Oh, he left. Oh, okay.
Well,
Great show.
That's what we did for
gentlemen.
telling Belfast on this podcast.
So Morbius begins.
No more
with-
Belfast talk. That's all. It still hurts.
Still hard.
Well, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Well, that was
Heyo.
Preston. You did find him fucking on Twitter and shit.
He's not lying. Is Carson even gonna join, or he's
Probably not.
taking care
I
of the
think we're too
children?
late for that.
It's 1 a.m.
Is it 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's only 10
The night just
15
started.
for us.
Now.
I went to bed like at 5:30 yesterday. Felt great.
What?
I was reading Star Wars.
We're reading Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm a nerd like that. For real, for
What were
real.
you reading?
On God.
Star Wars: The High Republic, Midnight Horizon. Pretty great. I guess you guys can
Let's go.
you guys can find me at
The chat.
Harris EV9, doing with Nathan and Carson Hyperspace Hype. My cup of tea. We're doing Moon Knight reviews.
What are we watching this week, Evan?
Holes, right? We're doing holes this week.
Yeah.
We're doing
We're watching
Holes.
Amazing.
the Disney Channel classic.
No, that was on
Holes.
Disney Channel.
No?
Wait.
People keep saying
What are you
that's
guys watching?
released. Holes with
Shia LaBeouf's
Oh,
Holes.
Transformers star.
Exactly.
We across our podcast or something, we gotta do some DComs content.
Yeah. I mean,
Some of us
that's
need
that's
to,
why I kept
like,
saying it. 'cause
I
was
need
like,
to do it.
DComs have been some of the best parts of my childhood. Just watching.
Okay, fine.
Holes.
I'm announcing it now, I guess. I don't know. Top 10 DComs coming. Podcast coming.
I'll have to rewatch
Why
it
not?
now.
I'm making the letterbox list as I speak. I have to
Wow.
revisit everything.
Halloween Town #1. Just to say that.
Whoa, now.
Okay. That's up there.
Luck of the Irish. I mean,
High School
Look at
Musical
that.
2, #1. Tied.
2.
2.
Yeah. Wait.
High School Musical 2.
Okay.
Yeah. It's far superior.
Wait, Evan. Wait. Who is on the side of 2? Because now I'm confused.
Josh is. I'm on 1.
2 is a masterpiece.
2 is the empire of the trilogy.
It is,
Really?
honestly.
And 1 is the one that started.
I
it all.
rewatched him
Great
like
one.
last year. One of the best trilogies in cinema.
No trilogy matches the original trilogy quality more than High School Musical.
I've never saw High School Musical 3. I need to watch it.
It's all right.
Because like I remember
There's a
watching
really
High
weird
School-
scene in a junkyard where cars like start coming to life and like dancing.
that's
It's
weird.
weird.
I'm here
the
for out of the reality.
Edgar probably doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I have no idea. I'm just waiting.
Because
Finish
my, I mean, I watched High School Musical 1 and 2 on Disney Channel. Then they tried to make me go to see it in theaters, but I'm not.
Yeah,
paying-
like what is that bullshit?
what's that bullshit for? Put it on DCOM.
Why is it
They did
senior
that
year
with
on the third one? Shouldn't we
Hannah
get a
Montana
fourth?
also.
Okay, Hannah Montana like that. Yeah, tragic. Anyways, yeah, find me again, Harris EV9, talking all things Survivor, Big Brother.
Decoms.
You missed
DCOM.
his rant about Survivor. before it
Yeah.
went live. It was
Long story
good.
short, do not cut Survivor for the fucking news about a tornado in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's not going to happen. Nothing did happen. So fuck off, Local 12 News. I'm surprised I didn't get blocked because I really cussed him out.
Me with the author, like.
Maybe because I quote tweeted him, he didn't find it. Anyways, that was me on Wednesday. Wednesday, I was like, "Whoo, Mad Evan." Yeah, that's it.
All right, Nathan, find you, and what are you guys up to?
Oh, Where do I begin? No, okay. Yeah, you can find me at _Nathan making a show called Time Blazer with special stars
Hell yeah.
Evan and previous Preston, who is here, amongst other cast members. Carson being one of them. You saw him tonight. Did you? Did you see him? Go back to the Easter eggs. Go find them. But I get so rambly without my background music for the StreamYard, and it's bad, man. Someone has to stop me. But yeah, man, I'm working on the show. It's fun. Been making it for 10 years. I'm hoping to drop it this year on my birthday. So you can't be mean to me about it. Yeah, man. Just hanging out, living day to day. Just ready to go to Celebration. See everybody in person.
Dude,
Watch
It's gonna
Obi-Wan.
be amazing. Actually, do want to mention a semi-announcement. We're gonna have a later before Celebration. I don't know if you guys want to go on it, but I'm planning a Celebration like retrospective / preview. So that'll be a fun episode.
That should be cool.
Are we talking Indiana Jones or what?
My favorite Celebration moment.
Yeah. Well, Josh, where can people find you?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Nathan Evan. This crossover, the most ambitious crossover in podcasting, was amazing, and I'm sure we'll do it
Part
again.
1.
Again. Yeah, we're gonna do several parts, I assume.
Yeah, I'm like a recurring
And,
guest, so I'm obligated to come on.
I hope you guys watch
And,
every episode of our podcast leading up to this crossover.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's a
we're
long
like
form
the
story
MCU.
going on.
Why isn't Carson here? What happened to him in the previous movie?
Turns out he's just busy taking.
Turns
care
out
of
he's a
cats.
Winter Soldier.
Whatever it takes.
You can find me. My handle's on the screen at Josh D Woodbury. Talking about movies, and basically for the past week, been freaking out about Kingdom Hearts 4. Now that's real.
Yes,
Fucking insane
Hell
that
yes!
just happened. Incredible
Wow.
trailer. Fucking Endor.
Endor.
Okay.
I stayed up to like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. watching that shit. Man, that was great.
It was amazing.
Zooming in on the foliage of the forest.
Hell yeah.
It's a fucking ATST walker.
It has to be.
I believe it. I believe it.
100%.
Yeah.
I need to start the games.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Okay,
bro.
Edgar,
That's
where do
cool.
people find you?
Playing
You
Kingdom
can
Hearts
find
4.
me. You can find me at my handle right here. I'm not gonna say it out loud because it gives me like a fucking aneurysm trying to say it. But yeah, whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Like
However you want to
Akbar, right?
pronounce. Yeah. What have I been working on? Oh yeah, check out my review of Fathers 2 if you care about that movie or don't.
Is that the Mark Wahlberg movie?
Yes.
Oh
No,
my
that's
god.
trash.
Hey, Mel
Not as
Gibson, right?
Yeah, not as preachy as I thought it was gonna be, but still
Was it
not
so
good.
bad though?
What was that?
Was it so bad?
It was bad. It was just like
Not great.
it felt like a student film, like a
Isn't Mel
student
Gibson in
short
that
film.
too? That's
Yeah,
just
he's in
not
it.
not good. Very
Yeah.
problematic.
Man, I was mad. I was doing my triple feature the other day, and my last movie initially was going to be Sonic 2, and I was going to watch Ambulance before it, but they took off the 9:20 showing of Sonic I was going to go to at night. And it was the last showing, and then I saw Father Stu had a 9:20 showing, and I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Oh, one thing I want to shout out real quick. A movie, a little indie movie, and it's in my theater. I don't know if it's near yours. Go check it out. It's called Duel, starring Karen Gillan. It's
Oh, I want to see that.
Riley Stearns is in that movie. He did Art of Self-Defense. It was a Sundance movie. I mean, Edgar saw it at Sundance, and it's pretty good. Pretty interesting.
Did it already came out or?
Yeah, it
This
came out
week
this past week.
Oh, interesting.
It's playing in my theater, but I don't know if it's.
Yeah.
Josh, I want you to know whenever someone says pretty good, that's like the Evan equivalent of your point of view with the 4.5 stars. It's-
I know.
Anyway, thank
Okay.
you for joining us on this special episode. Kind of went off the rails towards the last like 20-30
We
minutes,
always
but
do. We always do.
apologies.
but fine. Remember,
Nathan.
go watch Ambulance. Go watch Everything Everywhere.
The
Um,
Northman next week. Really excited.
Ooh, wait.
Ooh,
Let's go.
I'm excited for
The
that.
Bad Guys. What's trying to do?
Massive talent.
That's a
Honestly,
good. That's begins to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I already watched it. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, sure. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, stick
Our
with
next
us for the next
episode
episode.
might be probably the April, what we watched in April, unless we have something before that. But we'll see.
Damn, this month is already gonna be over, huh? Fuck, I'm getting
It's
old by
already
the
the middle
day.
of the month. That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway,
Don't,
thank you for
don't forget
joining
to
us.
do your taxes.
I literally did them yesterday.
I forgot. I still have to do them.
That tax return,
I need that.
baby.
I need that money for a celebration.
That's yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you for joining us today, and remember, we make podcasts better.
Heartbreak
so-
feels real good with a nice cup of tea.
Ooh.
Ooh.